Hey guys, Chris here with RonBootsFarm, and today we're working in the garden. Alright, so today we're finally getting back out in the garden. If you can see that back there, we haven't been out here since the spring. As I mentioned in a couple of other videos, we just had a lot going on this summer. My stepdad passed away and with the heat, and then we had on vacation earlier in the summer. We just didn't get to it, and we went to about 60 days with no rain, and I couldn't get to it to water it, so everything kind of just dried up, and then the weeds started coming up. Our mulch did work really well, the straw mulch, if you saw our earlier videos, but as the wind kind of blew it around, there were some weeds that started to come up, and if I had got on those early, it would have been pretty easy to take care of, because there really wasn't that many at a time. Until, of course, you can see now they've all come up. So what we're going to do today, right down here on this end, I don't know if you can see them, but we've actually had some pepper plants that made it through the summer. I think that's about all that's left besides a few eggplants here. We probably won't get any peppers off of these, but I want to clear those out and just see if we get any peppers. And then also, most of you probably know that peppers are actually a perennial plant. They'll last 2 or 3 years if you bring them in the winter. So right over here in our barn, if you can see right over here, there's an old tack room, and I'm hoping eventually we're going to turn that into our seed starting room and indoor grow room. And so if I do get that done by the winter and any of these pepper plants are still here, then I may put a couple of them in a pot and move them in there. It may not happen, but since they're still growing here, I want to go ahead and, like I said, pull the weeds from around them, mulch them up, and to see if we can keep them going along until we get into winter here. So we're gonna pull the weeds around them. I still got some the horse manure that we got from the boarding place across the road from us. That's what's left from, if you've seen the last video early in the spring, I took that much off of it, and that's what's left. I haven't touched it since, so I need to get that off. And we've still got some cardboard, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the weeds from around the plants we want to keep, and then I'm just going to mow over the rest of it, just leave the roots and stems in the ground, and then as we go through the fall and I get time, I'll put cardboard down, this horse manure layer of that, and a deep layer of straw mulch on top of that, and then let that set through the winter until next spring. We also have behind me here, if you can see it, right down there, right there, a pile of sand. A friend of ours put in a new above ground pool and had extra sand they need to get rid of, so I told him bring it over here. We have these thick clay soils, so I figured it couldn't hurt just to throw it out there in the garden and maybe help break up some of that clay. So that's something else we'll be doing, maybe not today, but as we move on into the fall. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you over here. If y'all remember the straw we put around the tree at the end of our garden at the expansion, and we put down cardboard and the horse manure and the straw, and I haven't touched it. I haven't even dug down to see what it looks like since we did that several months ago. So I'm going to flip the camera around here, and then we'll dig down there and see how that's composted and see how that compost and dirt is looking under there. All right guys, if y'all remember, we did this earlier in the spring. This section here, we put cardboard down, and then a layer of the horse manure, composted horse manure, and then the straw. And again, I haven't touched it to see what it's like under there. We did have some mushrooms pop up the other day. They're about gone now, but they popped up the other day after all the rains we've had. Let's dig down here and see. So this is where the horse manure was. Pretty much composted down. See if there's cardboard still under here. There's a little bit there, but it's starting to, you can pretty much just dig through it with your finger, so it is composting down some, help keep those weeds down. So again, I think the straw mulch works pretty good. Haven't had any grass come up in this. Of course, we had the cardboard down, and then I put it down really thick. Worked pretty good throughout the garden. Like I said, just as weeds started coming up, I didn't get on them, and if I'd have probably put 2 or 3 more bales of straw on top of what was there, we probably wouldn't have any problem at all. So we're going to get on that now, start pulling these weeds up, and then get some more mulch and this horse manure down around these plants. guys. Got most of the weeds pulled up from around the pepper plants here down at this end of the garden. Also got our string lines taken up that were still there from when we planted back in the spring that I never got up, and also pulled up the tomato baskets that I'd put around the cucumbers that we had planted earlier and that ended up dying. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and spread a little bit of this manure around these pepper plants. I'm not going to put any cardboard down. I forgot, I know I said in the opening that I was going to put some cardboard down and the horse manure and mulch what we could, but I forgot that hopefully before the spring we're going to be putting in some irrigation. That was one of the things that I just know I can't get to as much as I should, is watering, especially as I expand the garden. I just don't have enough time at the end of the day when I get home from work to water like I should to keep everything going. So I want to put in some irrigation, and hopefully we're going to be doing that next month in October. My dad's coming up for a week, and I'm taking a week off work just to mainly work here on the farm. So hopefully that's going to be something we do then. So I'm just going to put a little bit of manure and mulch around these pepper plants, try to keep them going for a while, and just get the lawnmower out and mow over the rest of these weeds. Again, I know it's going to spread the seeds everywhere and it leaves the roots, but we plan on sheet mulching that, so that's going to cover all that up, and that'll just be more material to compost down and help enrich our dirt there. So that's the plan. So we're going to put this manure out now and mulch, and also get the lawnmower out, weed eat this, and then we may even shovel some of that sand, just throw it around while we got the shovel out. Alright guys, now I'm going to take this sand and just spread it out in the garden. Again, this is just because I had it, and I'm going to throw it out there to help break up that clay some. Alright guys, you can see, got everything cleaned up, got the sand spread out, even got all the rest of the manure that I had on the trailer spread out. I put some around the pepper plants, and even went down the row here where these eggplants are, even though I don't think they'll do anything. They didn't hardly do anything this summer, and I think it's probably too late for them. But I spread the rest of it out, and I think what I'll do, I went ahead and mulched the pepper plants, and I think what I'll do is I'll see if I can get another load of manure, get that spread out, and then till this one more time, probably next month when my dad's here. Like I said, the first week of October, I'm going to be doing a lot of work around here, taking a week off from work. Till all the sand and the manure in, and then try to put the cardboard and stuff down, another layer of manure and straw, and I think that'll give us a good start next spring for planting. But it is like the middle of September now, so if any of y'all have some suggestions on what we could plant for some fall crops, either that I could get some plants easily somewhere, or even plant some seeds, Didn't plan very well for fall garden, so if y'all got any suggestions on something that we might could get some produce off of before the winter gets here, leave them in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. We live here in Texas, just south of Dallas, so I forget exactly what zone we're in. 7. I have to look again and see if it's A or B. It's been a while since I looked at the map, but just south of Dallas, about 30 miles. So yeah, if you got any suggestions, leave them. We'll put them, see what we can do there, and we'll shoot some more video in a couple of weeks and next month, just seeing how this progresses as we expand this out and hopefully get ready for putting a lot in next spring. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe if you hadn't already, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.